Hey guys, so it is a horrible day out. It's been raining like this for 2 days. Husband said today was supposed to clear up, but yeah, he was wrong. Anyhow, it has been about 4 days since I have vlogged, and I'll talk about that later to you guys. But right now I'm heading to Abbotsford. I have to get my lashes done. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, they're almost all off and they look horrid, so I made an appointment with Tiffany and just gonna hit the road. I made sure I had an umbrella because I'm likely to get soaked from the vehicle to the shop. So yeah, if I have enough time, I'm going to grab a Starbucks and then I'm going to be hitting the highway. So I will check in with you guys shortly.
I was a grande chai tea latte with
Coconut milk.
and coconut milk. Okay. So that's everything?
It is.
541 minutes window, please.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, I got here in time, guys, to get my chai latte for the road. Hey guys, so I am done getting my nails. Oh wow, getting my lashes done, and they look so pretty. And I was just heading down to the highway, and there was a whole lot of traffic. So I'm thinking that it's either rush hour or a problem because of all the rain on the highway. And then I thought, well, I could kill some time before I go home, and I'm just like, I was just like 5 minutes away from HomeSense, so I'm gonna pop in and see if there's anything new since I've been here last, and kill some time and then head home. I will check in with you guys soon. Hey guys, so I've been home for over an hour now. I'm freezing, so I made a tea in my big mug, and I'm gonna get some dinner. I haven't ate today, so I'm hungry and I have a headache. So I'm going to try to replicate the Nando's peri peri portobello mushroom sandwich that I had, because we bought their sauce when we were there. So I have a giant portobello mushroom, red pepper, onion, a bun, and I'm going to use my dinga. When I ordered my sandwich in the restaurant, you had a choice of a grilled pineapple or cheese, but it wasn't vegan, so I went with the grilled pineapple. So now I'm going to try it with cheese. Then I've got some crisps that I'm going to throw in the oven. So I'll let you know what it tastes like. Hey guys, so I fried up my portobello mushroom and veggies, and I'm just going to assemble it now. Look at how delish that looks. I toasted the bun and I put a little bit of Hellmann's vegan mayo on it. So I'm just going to assemble this now, guys. Hey guys, there it is. My take on Nando's peri peri portobello mushroom sandwich. It looks delish, so I will have to eat dinner and let you know if it is delish. Hey guys, it is after 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is take 2. I mentioned to you guys earlier today that I am struggling with PTSD and that I would talk to you guys about it later. So I guess it's later. So here I am. For those of you that don't know, I experienced a trauma when I was a little girl. I was molested. And yeah, that sort of impacted me in a pretty powerful way. I remember being a very rebellious teenager. I remember being very bitter and angry right up into my late 20s, really. I couldn't talk about it. There was a couple of times in my life after that I was within close proximity of this individual, and I would become literally paralyzed with fear. So yeah, it left me pretty messed up, that's for sure. So it was probably in my early 30s, there was a trigger. My first time that I imagined before then there were probably triggers, but I didn't understand or know. I never had any counseling or anything after the fact. So and it was never really talked about. It's really weird. My parents believed me, and that's really important to understand. That it's so important to understand, because this was back in the 70s where there wasn't really a lot of support or anything like that. So I believe that was critical in my overall well-being. So, but then in my early 30s, I guess you could say there was a trigger, and so I ended up going to talk to a pastor and taking some classes and going through some counseling, and it really helped in a lot of ways. But as soon as things started getting yucky and emotionally I started feeling really uncomfortable, I put a lid on it really quick and just shut it down. And then I just let that go like that again for quite a number of years. So on and off throughout my life, like I've had anxiety my whole life. Sometimes it's really bad, sometimes it's not so bad. I've struggled with OCD. I've had bouts of mild depression. I have insomnia, hence why it's 2:30 in the morning, and here I am vlogging. So what I've learned in the last 5 years is that all of those things are residual because of what happened to me when I was a child. And up until 5 years ago, all of those things were undiagnosed, they were untreated. So I just sort of floated and drifted through life. I tend to be a pretty withdrawn person. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't like to share my personal life. I have a very close-knit group of people, and I'm okay with that. So I've been very fortunate the last 10 years. My best friend, she knows all of this. I've shared all of this with her, and so she's really good when she can tell when I'm sort of heading down the rabbit hole, and she'll kind of come pull me out, so it's fantastic. And I'm learning to pull myself out more and more too. So 5 years ago, and I'm probably all over the place with this story, and I'm really, really sorry. 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, there was another incident, another major trigger. And I got to work, I pulled into the parking lot, put my car into park, turned the key out of the ignition, and froze. I was paralyzed. I couldn't breathe, just like the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life. It took me about a half an hour to get it together enough to even drive home. I got home, and I was just a mess. So I made an appointment with the family doctor, and they sent me off to see a psychiatrist, and then from the psychiatrist I ended up with a therapist. So, and I think timing's everything, because that time around I was in a different place, and I was able to go deeper with the healing process. So, and being able to talk about it more and sort of figure out what makes me tick and why I do the things I do. So, and just understand why I do the things I do. So that was, that was beneficial. During that time, they had put me on numerous sleeping pills. Nothing was working. Everything I took made me feel like I had a hangover in the morning. I took some mild antidepressants again. They never really made me feel good. I do have Ativan for in the event I completely have another major serious meltdown with my anxiety. So, and in 5 years I've probably taken 3 or 4. So I really try hard not to be medicated. I need to learn coping mechanisms. I need to learn what my triggers are, and I know sometimes I'm not gonna know. Like, case in point, with the recent news in the media at a Hollywood, it took me a couple of days to sort of figure out what was happening, because I sort of went down the rabbit hole, and I withdraw, and I don't talk to people, and I just sort of shut down. And then all of a sudden I started connecting the dots, because the media was just flooded. Everything I watched was just flooded with this news. And then it started making sense to me what was happening. So my PTSD had kicked in, which is, that in itself is an accomplishment, just to be able to identify that myself, because so that was a victory for me. And there's this phrase that, I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. And that's true. However, for me personally, sometimes I can still be the victim. Like, when my PTSD kicks in, when something triggers, I go there. And, depending on how long I stay there, so sometimes I can go like years and I'm great. And then I can go months or weeks. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's hours. And it's exhausting and it's so frustrating. So, and I think what I'm trying to work through now, and one of my biggest crutches, I guess, now I sort of hold on to a little bit of bitterness, is that the police were involved and there was reports made, but there were never any charges laid, because it's, again, going back in the 70s and things were really weird back then. So, I'm sort of bound by this, defamation of character clause, or whatever you want to call it. And it really sucks, because it's like, it happened to me, it's my story, and it's real. And I wanted to write a book about that, not that necessarily, but a book that would involve that. And apparently I can't, or I shouldn't, because I could be sued by this individual. Like, how ludicrous is that? It absolutely blows my mind. So it's the things like that that are also triggers for me, that you kind of send me over the top sometimes. So, that was, we had the news going on in Hollywood with Harvey Weinstein, and then NaNoWriMo is also the month of November. So I've been getting notifications in my inbox from them all of October about doing the writing challenge. I tried doing it, I think 3 years ago, and I failed at it miserably. So the challenge is to write 50,000 words in a month, in 30 days. And there's all kinds of support groups and all kinds of tips, and they post up articles, and you can join bulletin boards and all that. So, and I've always wanted to write a book. Like, I've wanted to write a book since I was in my early 20s. And so that also triggered, because it just brings that up again. Oh, well, I can't write a book about that, because then, I could be sued. So anyhows, I know I'm rambling, and I apologize. For anybody that has sent me private messages, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. 5-10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to even have this conversation, and definitely without, not without being a blubbering mess. So I know I've gotten stronger, and I know that the healing process is a slow one, but it is a process, and I know I'm coming out the other side. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That is the truth. Absolutely, that is the truth. So yeah, I'd like to say, if anybody wants to talk or they need to talk, that I'm here for you, and I would be, and I mean that. I just don't know in what capacity I would benefit you. Like, I'm not a therapist or a counselor or anything, and I can certainly empathize with you. Yeah. Anyhows, guys, I am going to finish drinking my tea, hopefully get these video clips up on the computer. I haven't vlogged all this week, but I did vlog. There's 2 or 3 vlogs on this camera, I think. Definitely from the weekend. So, I don't know if I'm going to put this one up first and then just follow up with the ones that I have, or if I'm going to upload them in the order that they were recorded or not. I'll decide once I get them uploaded on the computer. So, and I guess I sort of sidestepped a little bit around. So the NaNoWriMo challenge is in November, to write 50,000 words to start writing a novel. And I'm going to join it. So, yeah. So I've actually got an idea for a children's book. I've had it for 3 or 4 years. So I might not make it to 50,000 words, but I'm definitely going to start writing this children's book. So that's really exciting. And I'm going to make that announcement public on my other social media, probably by the weekend, by the end of the weekend. So, yeah, lots of jumbled up information, I'm sure. And thanks, guys, so much for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Please give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. And subscribe if you haven't already. And as I'm learning every single day, guys, remember to be good to yourself.